We both have stories with celebrities.
Yours is better than mine.
Maybe. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I remember coming down in the basement, seeing you making out with one of your girlfriends and your crush.
I don't know if I can even talk about money, but they paid me like $2,000.
I remember being so nervous because I knew obviously he was like gonna make a move on me.
Yeah, consumed me, so it was like the worst heartbreak ever.
My sister threw a Playboy house party.
Would practice on each other, if that makes sense. Hey everyone, welcome back to Tell Me Sis podcast.
Featuring your two favorite sisters, Alex and Kyla.
Yay!
Yay!
Welcome to today's episode. I am so excited because we are going to be doing our first times. Sounds kind of spicy.
It does sound spicy, but it's going to be really funny. I'm excited for this episode. I was reading all the list of my first times that you sent me today, and I was actually dying of laughter thinking about my answers for everything.
I'm excited because I feel like I know your answers, but at the same time I don't.
Yeah.
So I want to see if it's
I mean, there's a few things that I was like, oh, I don't know yours.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, I also thought this was a kind of a good way to get to know us a bit better with this. So I'm going to just go right into it. Our first crush. I felt like this was a good way to start because like we can both talk about how our first crushes developed when we were young.
Yeah.
Like children.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first, Kyla?
So my first crush was actually on a fictional character. I told you earlier today that it was the man from Sailor Moon.
Tuxedo Mask, yep.
But the more I thought about it, I realized that it was actually, I forget his name, but Mulan. He's in Mulan. He's the guy that she ends up with.
Oh yeah, the main character.
Yeah, the main
he's
character.
So hot.
He was so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually watched that movie, like the cartoon version, not long ago, and I still think he's hot.
I mean, yeah, I forget his name.
I know, me too.
But yeah, a lot of people I know talk about. Is it Lee? I don't know. Anyways, it's definitely a good first crush.
But then I also have my first crush on like an actual human.
Okay, not a cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was actually on my swim team coach. I was like...
Who?
10 or 11 at the time.
Do you want to say his name?
No, I'm not going to say his name, but he was my favorite coach. This was like...
Summer or winter swimming?
Winter.
Okay.
And he was like 26, but I was like 11. And obviously I never told him I had a crush on him.
No, that would be super
secretly,
inappropriate.
like, in love with him.
Oh my gosh. You need to tell me who it is after. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know who it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You actually like a legit crush?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was like my first like real crush, and it was because he paid a lot of attention to me, not in a weird way.
No, he was your coach.
He was my coach, and he like saw the potential that I had, and so he was really like, he would pay attention to me and like correct my what's it called?
Technique.
My technique, and like he got along really well with mom, and I don't know.
I mean, it's quite normal. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people had crushes on either at some point their teachers or coaches if you were in sports or anything like that. It's kind of a normal thing for a young person.
Yeah.
Especially if they're getting a lot of attention and if the person's cute.
Yeah, he was really cute.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was. So, I could see that. For me, I texted Kyla earlier and I was like, is it really bad that my first crush of my memory is literally Simba from The Lion King? Like a freaking lion.
You had a crush on a cartoon lion.
It wasn't like because when you're like 4 or 5 years old, it's not like a sexual thing. It's like you have a crush on them. And I was like, oh, Simba, he's like the main character.
I get it.
You know? So in my memory, it was like Simba and then obviously Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon because...
Also, how cute is Simba with Nala? Like, they're so... And then they're like best friends and then they end up together. That's so cute.
I know. I actually love that movie so much.
Me too.
But yeah, Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon because we're true millennials and we grew up during that time. Like, Sailor Moon was huge for us.
Yeah.
So definitely Tuxedo Mask. And then as for a real person, my first crush, like I remember always having crushes on boys in my class in elementary school.
Yeah.
I just don't remember who the first one was because it's probably from when I was in kindergarten or something like that. I definitely had a crush on a boy in my class. And I would go through multiple crushes throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'd be...
Whoever's cute.
Yeah, but or if they gave me attention or played with me or something, it was like, oh, I had a crush on them.
Okay, yeah.
But I definitely had a crush on our not swim team coach. I guess he was a coach too, but he was also our lifeguard in the summer.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say his name either, just in case. Because
You want to whisper it to me?
No, I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely.
In the summer.
Yeah. But it's like.
How old were you?
I mean, he was my coach, or he was my. Was it a coach? Lifeguard? He was a lifeguard there for a long time. So, anyways, you'll know as soon as I tell you afterwards.
Okay. I'm so curious.
But those were our first crushes, and so the next one is our first kiss.
Okay, I was telling my coworker about this today,
Okay,
and she was dying.
I actually don't think I know your first kiss, because is it like a first real kiss, or do you count like truth or dare?
No. This was like, I have my first peck, and then I also have my first like make out.
Okay.
2 different guys.
So we're breaking it up.
Yeah. So my first kiss, I think I was like maybe 12 or 13.
Okay.
And we were at our summer pool.
Oh my god, I remember this.
Yeah.
I literally remember this.
Yeah. And I had a crush on this boy, and there were basically like 2 diving boards side by side. They were just the 1 meters, and we were playing this game of like, we're gonna jump off the diving board at the same time and go to the bottom of the deep end and just like do something funny and like make each other laugh. And we were actually doing that, and it was like hilarious. And then I don't remember if it was me or him that initiated, we're gonna go to the bottom of the deep end and we're gonna kiss. And so we jumped off the diving board at the same time, went to the bottom of the deep end. And like, I remember not even puckering my lips. I was just like, my face was like,
what?
Yeah, I was just like,
Kyla.
And our lips just
Kyla.
touched.
Kyla. I mean, you were so little.
I was 13. Like, I didn't know what I was doing.
13, you didn't pucker?
That was my first kiss.
I mean, but, okay.
Like, you're not supposed to know how to kiss when you're
No, but
13.
I mean, you know how to do like the noise, like.
I guess I was nervous, I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay, makes
but
sense.
But like, we didn't, I don't think either of us did. Like, it was very awkward, and I remember his lips being very like slippery.
Well, also that would happen being underwater.
No, but like slimy slippery, like he had like saliva.
Ooh.
So that was my first kiss. And then my first makeout, it was with a guy that I dated. We were dating for like 2 weeks total.
Okay.
It was when I was in grade 10, and I basically just like, mom dropped me off at his house, and we were just like in his room watching movies. And I remember he had posters of Selena Gomez all over his wall because he like was in love with Selena Gomez.
Okay, we accept him.
And we were just like laying down on his bed, and I remember being so nervous because I knew obviously he was like gonna make a move on me.
Yeah.
But I had no experience, and I had the Razr flip phone at the time.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about those phones.
Yeah, and I remember like texting my best friend, like pretending like, you know, like, oh, I'm distracted, I'm texting my friend, like so he doesn't like pull a move because I was nervous.
Aww.
But I also wanted him to kiss me. I was just like freaking out, and then he went to like go in for a kiss, and I remember like turning my head because I freaked out and like pretending to go on my phone, and he kind of like laughed and like closed my phone for me as it was like in my hand. And he like turned my face, and we just like started making out. And like afterwards mom came to pick me up, and I was in the car like super silent in my head. I'm like, oh my god, I just made out with a boy.
That's really cute.
Yeah. And then I broke up with him like a week later.
In true Kyla fashion.
Well, okay, listen. I had a crush on another guy.
Was that guy your first boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. So
You know that story.
Yeah, I know that story. Well, that's cute though.
Yeah.
But poor the other guy. I'm sure he enjoyed that makeout.
Your
mine.
first kiss.
My first kiss. Okay, so I actually think my first kiss was in like a truth or dare type thing.
Okay.
Or like a spin the bottle. Because we played that game a lot. So we were basically a big group of friends from swimming.
Yeah.
Obviously, as swimmers, you're girls and guys in the same group. So we would, every time there was a birthday party, there'd be multiple, like a huge group of us.
Yeah.
And of course, as you're starting to get older, like 12,
Yeah.
start playing spin the bottle or truth or dare or something, or at the back of the bus on the way to a swim meet.
Yeah.
We used to always play truth or dare. And sometimes it'd be like, oh, I dare you to kiss Alex or whatever. Anyways.
And you'd always like hope in the back of your mind that it's your crush.
Yeah, but like I said, I always had different crushes. So like,
Okay.
it didn't really matter because I was like, oh, I had a crush on this guy last week, so
Yeah.
it's fine. But I think my first kiss ever was Dan. And I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah. We spoke about this the other day because I was like, Dan, do you remember that one time going to Brantford in the back of the bus? And he's like, yeah, when I was dared to kiss you. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my first kiss because we were young. He wasn't in my group for that long.
Oh, wow.
So he was like, really? That was your first kiss? And I was like, I don't know if it was him or someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was him because in my memory, I remember his lips were dry and cracky.
Ew.
Yeah. But it was just a peck.
Yeah.
It was like and I could tell he literally had no interest in doing that with me at all. He did not want to kiss me.
Really?
Yeah, I could really tell. So it was kind of like it's a moment that I remember because it's embarrassing. I'm like, oh, I'm going to kiss somebody. And they like did not want to kiss me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. It's either him or another guy from swimming. Probably same scenario. I was like super geeky. So not very many guys wanted to kiss me. It was like
before you entered your hot phase. Your hot era.
My hot phase.
The hot era. When like, I remember when I started like at Rennie in high school. Everyone was like, you're Alex Chintomo's sister. Because like you were in grade 11 or grade 10.
Yeah.
And I was in grade 7.
Honestly, it was Sec 5 because when you started, so that means you're in grade 8 because in Sec 4 I was still like geeky.
Okay, yeah, because I remember like all the guys in my grade were obsessed with you and they would always be like, she's Alex Chintomo's sister. And I was like, I have a name. Oh. Like I'm Kyla. Because I was also like young and like very sporty at that time. Like I didn't have like a chest or anything. But
I remember
it's fine. Then I started getting a bunch of attention in grade 9.
I think I had a total, what's her name? Mia Thermopolis? Is that her name from Princess Diaries? Where she goes from like geeky to like, it's the typical, I had glasses, braces, just not, I don't know. I went through puberty and I basically like dyed my hair and got rid of my glasses and braces and was a different person. So then I started getting attention from guys. And actually that's when I had my first makeout session.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was really bad because the two of us didn't know what we were doing. And we just, I literally think we just wanted to like practice because we didn't like each other.
Yeah.
This was one of my guy friends that like, we're still friends to this day. We never actually had crushes on each other. Like we never wanted to date each other, but because we were so close and we're such good friends, we like would practice on each other, if that makes sense.
I mean, that makes total sense. And I would have done that with like one of my best guy friends.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like we would talk about, like I would tell him about the guys I had crushes on. He would tell me about the girls he liked. And we would ask for advice. Like, what would you do in this situation? Because you're a guy. But then also when you're young and like my guy friend was so not like most guys. Like he was just very like a certain way. So like all the advice he gave me would never work.
That's hilarious.
And also because I was different from a lot of girls too. Ugh, I hate that. I'm not like most girls, but like I was different from a lot of girls, so the advice I gave him wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And so it was just, I don't even know what we were doing in this, but we'd go on MSN.
Also, you guys both had like no experience with anything.
Exactly. But that's why we were like, let's just experiment and like try it on each other and see. Actually, it helped. And we talked about this like, I think a few years ago we met up when he was in town. He doesn't live in Montreal anymore. So he was in town and we were like, let's go for lunch. And we were talking about how we used to do that. And our parents are best friends, so it's like so awkward.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Actually, that just reminded me, like, because I didn't have a guy friend that I could do that with, but I remember when I started dating, like, my first real boyfriend.
Okay.
I was really nervous, and I would practice making out with my girlfriends.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I actually know a lot of girls that do that too.
Like, we would literally be like, okay, like, we're gonna hang out tonight, and we'd be like, okay, do you want to practice making out?
Oh my god.
We would practice with each other.
I feel like my friends would
like
never
tell each other like what we like, what we don't like.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, way less tongue, it's gross.
That's actually really funny. Okay, I tried to do these in order of like what made sense. So our first date. Do you remember what your first date was?
First date,
like real date, you know, where someone picks you up and you go on a date, not just like, oh, we're going on a date, we're hanging out at my house, even if it's the movies, and if the person didn't have a car but you like went and met them there and went on a date.
I think it was probably with the guy that I had my first makeout with.
Yeah, you went on a date?
I think so. I think he took me to the movies once, but I don't think he picked me up because like we didn't have our license at the time. So it was like, we just like, I had like mom drive me.
I mean, that still counts. It's still like a date.
It's a date.
Unless you want to talk about a legit one where like someone picked you up.
I don't actually remember the first time someone picked me up. I think it might have been, like, my first real boyfriend.
Right.
Like, he was really, like, my first real boyfriend was, like, my first experience with
everything.
almost everything.
But also you guys started dating in high school, so it's
I was 17.
Yeah. So you kind of
Yeah, it
do
was
everything
probably
together.
him.
So what was the date? What?
This was when our house was being renovated still, and we wouldn't go for, like, dinner, but he would come over and we would hang out. And
Wait, is this the guy you kissed or the guy that you dated?
the guy that I dated.
Okay.
I mean, I dated them both, but, like, this is, like, my first boyfriend
Right, okay.
that I was with for, like, 2 years.
Okay.
He, like, came over and we would, like, hang out in the basement, and I consider that, like, a date, because it wasn't, like, he wasn't, like, making a move on me or anything. We were really just hanging out, and because I liked him so much and, like, he also liked me.
Yeah.
We knew that it wasn't, like, a friend thing, you know?
Aww.
So I consider that, like, our first date, and, like, we would watch Jersey Shore together.
Oh my gosh, throwback.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time when me and my friends went to Halloween as the Jersey Shore people?
Yes.
We all dressed up.
Do you remember your Playboy house party?
Oh my god. That's a throwback.
I was talking about that with someone recently. I was like, my sister threw a Playboy house party.
When mom and dad were not home.
And you were making out with one of your girlfriends?
What?
Yeah, I remember coming down in the basement, seeing you making out with one of your girlfriends in front of your crush.
Oh, we probably got dared to do that. I was like, I don't remember that.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was an
My sister
interesting
used
party.
to be wild.
Yeah, I definitely had a wild phase before
I can't even imagine
before the old
that
ball
now.
and chain.
Yeah. I can't even imagine you being like that now.
I know, it's so funny to think back to that time, but yeah, I definitely had a wild side. I kind of still do, but like, it's more tame. My first date was, I was older than Kyla because I think you were like more experienced than I was.
Really?
At a younger age, yeah. Because like I said, I only started getting attention from boys in Sec 5.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to deal with that attention because I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And so we say, and where we're from, Sec 5 is grade 11. We graduate from high school after, like, at grade 11.
Yeah.
We don't go to 12th grade. So it's like my final year of high school. I'm getting all this attention from boys, and most of the guys are very experienced. Like, they've been having sex for at least 2 years.
Oh my god.
And here I am, like, I didn't even know how to kiss a boy. So that's why my friend came in handy, because I would practice with him.
But was he also a virgin?
What, for kissing or virgin?
Or
What are you talking about, virgin? Well, yeah, I was also a virgin in grade 11, but
was he, like, experienced himself? Or
no.
Okay.
But, like, me and my friend would practice on each other to kiss or whatever, because I was like, I don't know how to, and that's when I would ask him advice. Like, I'm getting attention from guys, I don't know what to do about it. But because I was so kind of still immature internally, even though I looked one way on the outside, I, like, didn't know how to act. So I was getting this attention from guys, I didn't know what to do about it. I would, like, accept offers to go on dates, but then always bail.
Okay.
And never actually go on one. And then there was this one guy I developed a crush on, and like, that was just, oh my god, if he ever were to have asked me on a date, I probably would have died or fainted or something. Like, it wouldn't have happened. But then once I graduated high school, and it was my first real job that summer, and I really came out of my shell, I started partying and like learning more about myself and who I was and getting a lot more confidence in myself, then I felt like, okay, I can go out, I can experience dates or whatever, and I was asked on a few dates that summer, and I went. So the first date that I can remember, because there were a few that, kind of like what you said, where you just like hang out with a person, but to me that's not like a date for myself, because I would hang out with guys all the time.
Yeah.
So the first date was, this guy picked me up, and he was like, okay, we're gonna go to this party at this other pool, because we're all lifeguards. So we're gonna go to this party and we'll go together. And I didn't know any of the people there. Like, I knew of them, but I didn't know them personally. They were his friends. And then me and him were gonna go to dinner or to a movie or something afterwards. Anyways, what ended up happening was we ended up having a few drinks, staying, and like just hanging out the rest of the night. And then I'm pretty sure we all slept at that pool that night.
Really?
Yeah, because we all kind of got drunk.
Wait, who was this with? Hide your mouth.
I'll just tell you after.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a bad date or anything. It was just, I don't know, it was like fun because I got to like hang out with his friends or whatever. It never developed into anything, but that was a pretty cool first date. And then another, like, I guess one-on-one date would be just like dinner, and it was kind of boring.
How old were you?
I had just turned 17, or maybe I was probably closer to 18.
See, for me, I feel like that I could remember, I only started going for like dinner dates, like official dinner dates with like a guy picking me up, bringing me for dinner, or like meeting at a restaurant, he pays for my dinner, when I was like in my mid-20s. Like all the dates that I had been on prior, I think so.
I think for me, because not a lot, it's not like I dated a bunch of guys, but the guys I would go on dates with typically were older than me. Not by a lot, but like they had a car, we all had jobs, so like.
But you were a little bit older, right?
No, not with the few people that I went on the dates with originally.
Yeah, maybe I just really, I really can't remember.
I mean, also, it doesn't have to be a certain way.
No, but I really don't remember. Like, it's possible.
And you also were, like, in relationships for a lot
of
the time.
I dated someone for 2 years, then dated someone for, like, 8 months.
And then 4 years.
And then dated another person for, like, 4 years, give or take.
That would make sense as to why it was in your mid-20s, because it was once you guys broke up.
But, I mean, the person I dated for, like, 4 years, I went for, like, dinner with him and stuff. I just don't remember if it was, like, before
I'm sure
we started
you guys.
dating.
I'm sure you guys.
I don't remember.
And then the next one is our first heartbreak. With a partner, not with like a friend or like losing a pet or whatever. I mean, I guess that could be your first heartbreak.
Losing a pet?
Yeah.
I mean, when Goober passed away, that messed with me, but I was already like, I don't know if I could say like heartbreak, because I mean, I was so young in my first relationship. Mm-hmm. And like, I remember it was like very like rocky, up and down kind of thing. And like, I wasn't heartbroken when it ended, because I feel like I was already a little bit like mentally checked out.
Okay.
But the first time that I was like really, something like a situation like really destroyed me and it took years of rebuilding myself, was like I guess the person I dated for like 4 years.
That was your first real heartbreak?
I don't know if I could call it heartbreak though, because I feel like every time I've gone through a breakup, I was already like over it. It wasn't like someone broke up with me and I was still like in love with them and I wanted to be with them. Like,
okay.
I don't know if I've experienced that. I don't think I've experienced like a true heartbreak, but I've experienced things that like were very difficult, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think I've actually gone through like, I mean, knock on wood, I don't want to experience it.
Really? I feel like out of everything you've been through, you wouldn't consider any of that heartbreak?
I mean, it definitely messed with me big time, but I've never like been in love with someone and that person's like broken up with me. Like, I've been dumped before, but never by someone that I was in love with.
Okay. I guess for me...
Does that make sense?
Kind of, but I don't know, because I guess our definitions are different. Like, if I was in your shoes, that definitely would have been a heartbreak for me. Like, trust being broken, like that whole thing would have definitely been heartbreak.
Okay, so then I guess I've been heartbroken.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you don't consider that a heartbreak, then...
For me, what I consider a heartbreak is like, I'm in love with this person and they either break up with me or like cheat on me, so I have to end it with them, or like... But I'm like still very much in love with that person.
Okay, I see the difference. Okay, so yeah. I mean, I guess I'm just way more of an emotional person. Like, for myself, like the first guy that I really, really liked that broke my heart, like that was definitely a heartbreak. Which you witnessed and like the family witnessed. That was really, really hard. And I was probably like 19. I was still young.
You were young, yeah.
But I also had like gone through, maybe I was even 20, but I had gone through, it was a really bad year of like, that happened, and then we lost our grandfather, our aunt, our dog, 2 friends, like.
Yeah.
So it was just a bad year altogether. Just a lot happened, and I think the emotion of all of it just consumed me, so it was like the worst heartbreak ever.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if I didn't have any of the other stuff, and yeah, it broke my heart, but I don't think it would have been as bad as it was, because it just felt like You know, it's like when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, we get stronger.
Yeah, everything's a learning experience.
Yes, and I look back at it
that as
fondly.
my eye is twitching.
But I look back at that time and I like feel for that younger self of mine and that young girl, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had the confidence to speak my mind more openly and honestly, because I feel like I could have avoided a lot of heartbreak if I didn't go through, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't have the confidence to speak my mind.
Yeah.
So I was kind of just like strung along in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like literally over 10 years ago. That's crazy. Our first paycheck.
Oh, my first paycheck was I got a summer job as a lifeguard, and I remember it was like maybe $200, not even. And I thought I was rich.
Oh my gosh, Kyla, I was gonna say the exact same thing.
I remember both of us getting paid.
Yep.
Because you were working a similar job as, you were working the same job as me, but at a different pool.
And a higher position because I was older.
And a higher position. So you were making a little bit more money than me, but
Not by
still,
much.
it was like really not by much. Like let's say I got paid $190, my sister got paid like $230.
Yeah, something like that.
And we would spend it instantly on food, like fast food. We'd get together and be like,
or
okay,
alcohol.
or alcohol, because we were drinking all the time at
or
that
clothes.
point.
We go to like Forever 21.
Oh my god, but for me the main thing was like food and alcohol.
Yeah, our bank accounts would just be drained. But like mom and dad taught us not to do that. Like we were fully aware not to do that.
Yeah, we just, at the time you're so impulsive and you don't think about the future.
I was like,
you
whatever.
don't actually understand the value of money at that age.
I think also because we
At
were
least
very,
in our experience, we don't.
But also because we were very lucky that we didn't have to be.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
Daniel, for example, had to save his money because his parents didn't pay for things.
Yeah.
He didn't have that luxury. So we're very lucky that we did have that luxury, that we didn't have to worry about it. And most of our friends didn't have to worry about it because, so we're all like in the same boat. Like our little bubble was just all this like, oh yeah, let's just go spend it on food and alcohol and like go crazy. And then, you know, as we got older, we started to learn to save and all that.
Yeah.
But you know, when your first paycheck, you're like, oh my gosh, I have all this money. Ah!
I remember it was like thinking back on it, I'm like, wow, that
I'm rich.
amount of money nowadays would like pay for my gas.
Literally.
And like,
I was talking about
that's
this the other day. I'm like, the fact that mom and dad bought their house for like what they did, I'm like, what can you get with that money nowadays? Like a freaking garbage can. Like
like a box.
Oh, yeah, you can't like buy.
You could live in a little cardboard box.
It's crazy how expensive everything is. But yeah, mine's the same thing as Kyla. It was, I mean, I don't count babysitting as a paycheck because we just get paid cash.
I don't think I ever got paid to babysit.
I did.
Who did you babysit?
Sophia. I
Did
got paid.
Babysit I've babysat Sophia.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I got paid for that too.
Yeah. Our first car.
Oh my gosh, I got
Kyla,
my dad's.
Oh, you had dad's car first. I was gonna say
Yeah.
your first car was the car you just got rid of, but it's not.
No, I had dad's for like 4 years.
Dad's
dude.
old car.
Yeah.
I forgot there was
And
like
I called it the banana car because it was huge, so long, and like freaking made of steel. But it was the best. Like all my friends loved coming in my car because it was like leather interior, heated seats. I had a sunroof.
Yeah, it was so
just
cool.
huge, and it was like not a girl car
Was
whatsoever.
it the Hyundai Sonata?
Hyundai Sonata, and I think it was like 2007 or 2006 or something like that.
Tight.
And
Silver.
I would smoke up with my friends all the time in that car. We would hotbox the car and like, yeah, it was a good time. But Dad gave it to me for free. I didn't have to pay for it.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing with being a second child is you got way more than I did at a very young age. Like everyone always says, oh, the first child, you're like so spoiled. I had it hard for a lot of things. You got a phone way younger than I did. I had to pay for
I
my
got a
own
phone in grade 10.
Yeah, like that was not the case for me.
Did you have a phone in high school?
I got a phone in grade 11 when I was about to graduate high school and I had to pay for it myself. That was the deal. Got a Razor.
Yeah, I didn't have to pay for my phone.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I had to pay for my first car. My first car was the Hyundai Accent.
That car was so cute, and you bought it yourself.
Loved it. I bought it myself. Well, this is the thing. I didn't like pay cash up front. I went into the dealership and Dad helped me. He came with me and I financed it and I paid, I think, like $170 bi-weekly.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, but like I was able to afford it. I was working as a lifeguard throughout the week in the winters as well.
Yeah.
So I was like saving my money, could afford to buy my car, and I was like very excited about it. And of course, Dad in his true fashion was like, so you're gonna throw in some free winter tires and free oil changes and free this, free that. And like the guy that was selling me the car was like, yeah, totally, whatever. Dad's good at doing that kind of stuff. Whereas I didn't know what I was doing. I was just sitting there like, oh, getting a car.
Can I be honest with you?
What?
I just got a new car and Dad had to come with me because I still have no idea what I'm doing, and he had to negotiate, and he was telling them like free winter tires, free oil change, like fix the brakes for her.
Sometimes it does help having, I know this sucks, but it does help having a man there. Like,
I would have been really so screwed over. Like,
take advantage of like a young woman. Like, honestly, as sad as it is to say, like, it does happen. And they would have seen this like young woman who doesn't know what she's doing, and she just would have signed for a new car, whereas Dad's there and he's like, Yeah. So that's not a weird thing to have your father do. Our first fight as sisters.
Oh my god.
I mean, we fought a lot growing up as kids. But like,
our first real fight was a physical fight.
We've talked about this though, I feel like.
When I like pushed you and you were wearing heels.
Yeah, but
So this is actually a funny story because we used to steal each other's clothes all the time.
Wait, didn't we talk about this on the podcast? Or have we not?
I don't remember. You could think of another fight time. Like, because this wasn't our first fight. It's just the worst one. When we were that age.
The first fight, Kyla, that we had that I remember, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but the first real fight was when I caught you going into my room and stealing my stuff. And then you were like, well, you went into my room and stole my stuff. And it was like a big fight. Like, we were screaming at each other. And then Mom was screaming because she was like, shut up, like, stop yelling at each other. And then Dad was like, stop yelling, like getting so upset. It was a huge, like, we didn't get physical. We were screaming at each other because I was like,
I don't remember that.
I was like, Mom, like, she stole my clothes, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you stole my makeup. And it was like,
oh my god, when you stole all my makeup.
And then lied about it?
Yeah.
But like,
where did you put it?
But the multiple times I took all your makeup?
No, because I remember like
when
all my makeup
was...
No, because I remember all my makeup was gone. It was around the years there that you say that you like blocked out.
Oh, that was like later. That was when we were a bit older.
Okay.
We stole each other's stuff for like a long time.
Years. And then we get so mad, but it's like we're both doing it.
I know. I don't know why we just didn't share. Like, we could have just shared.
It's so stupid.
Like, in my mind, I was like, well, because Kyla doesn't take care of my clothes and I wash all my clothes. I was very, like, I needed my clothes to be a certain way. But it's not like they were ever ruined.
And it's not like I ever, like, just, like, yeah, I never destroyed them.
No.
I didn't give them back to you with, like, stains of food and, like,
no.
rips.
It's, like, so weird to me how, like...
Yeah, but we're immature.
I guess. And it was like, that's mine.
Yeah, like, don't touch my stuff.
Like, literally, the sisters from Cinderella when they're ripping her dress off. That was us.
We had to get locks on our bedroom doors.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then I broke into Mom's room one time and stole the key to your room.
Little bitch.
Like, it's so stupid.
Okay, let's jump forward a little bit, but our first brand deal, because if you guys aren't aware, Kyla used to do influencing full-time.
Did you hear that?
Your neck cracking?
Yeah.
So my first brand deal that I remember was probably with Windsor.
Me too.
Was it?
Yeah, they just sent me a bunch of free clothes and I was like confused because I was like, I don't understand why they would want to send this to me for free.
Okay,
I'm counting it to me.
I'm counting brand deal in the sense of getting paid.
Oh, getting paid?
For me, it was either Windsor or Luxie
It was Windsor
Hair.
as well.
It was either Windsor or Luxie Hair because those were like the first two. Because, okay, I guess Brandy Melville, but I worked for Brandy Melville. So, like, they would just add it to my paycheck.
Okay.
But with, like, a brand deal reaching out because I was an influencer and they wanted to have me promote their stuff was either Windsor or Luxie Hair. And I remember Windsor, I don't know if I can even talk about money, but they paid me, like, $2,000.
How many followers did you have at the time?
A lot. Like, this is not a current rate now.
Yeah.
For, like, people of that size. I think I had, like, 500,000 or 600,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh my god. But this was way before influencing was really a thing.
Yes. But, and also, at the time, there was no insights. You couldn't see your activity. All you saw was, like, the followers and then the likes and the comments. And at that point, I was getting, maybe I was actually smaller. I think I might have even been, like, at 400,000 followers. But my engagement was, like, extremely high because it was at, like, the peak of Brandy Melville and
like the popular page.
Exactly. So I'd get reposted on the popular page almost every single time I posted a photo, and then Brandy USA would repost my photos all the time, and, like, I'd be all over Tumblr. So I had that, like, typical white wall photo with the hair.
Yeah.
That was posted everywhere, and so they pay me $2,000, which is not, like, full because you get I think they paid me through PayPal, and PayPal took a big cut, and then, like, obviously I paid taxes on that, but still, it was like a huge deal for me because, I mean, $2,000, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a
lot of money. Even today
yeah.
is a lot of money. But it was for like a few months of work and like a lot of posts. It wasn't just for one post. It was like a big thing.
Okay, yeah.
So like nowadays of someone that size with that engagement, that would not be the rate at all.
No. Exactly.
So, but at the time, like you said, it's new.
Yeah.
So that was like my first real brand deal. I think Luxie Hair was similar, but theirs was like I had to do YouTube and Instagram, and it was like a monthly thing. It was pretty awesome though, I have to say.
I don't remember.
Life-changing.
Life-changing for you?
Yeah, life-changing. I was working a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then I got that like on top of it. It was a lot of like posting and stuff I had to do, but
The major life-changing moment though was when you were able to quit your 9 to 5.
Yes. That was a life-changing moment. But like, I'm pretty sure
and travel the world.
Yeah. But people don't realize this. I actually paid for a lot of those trips myself. Like people think that I got free trips all the time. It was an investment on my end. Like I would pay for the trips to go and like stay in these places, and sometimes I get free clothes or whatever, but most of the time was me and Dan buying our own flights. We had a bunch of points that we saved up from, you know, when you fly, if you fly often, there's point systems. So I would save up all these points and sometimes be able to fly business class because I would like upgrade.
Yeah.
And we pay for hotels. Once in a while get a free hotel, but like it was so rare. So yeah, people think that like I just got to travel for free all the time, but like it was an investment.
Yeah, well, I remember that. Like we would get like deals with hotels, but like we would still have to pay, and then but they just give us like a big discount, or they would have to post for them,
or we wouldn't have to pay taxes or something like that.
My first brand deal was with Windsor, and I think they had paid me like $200 or something, but I had like 15K because by the time I started and I was growing,
right,
was like way after you, and it was already becoming more of a thing. Nothing like now,
right? And
it was like $250 for like I think 3 or 4 posts or something. But like I was in school full time. I had 2 part-time jobs outside of school, and then I was also doing like the modeling thing on the side.
Yeah.
So like that extra 250 was a lot for me.
It's huge. I mean, in general, $250, like that literally pays groceries, that pays gas, like
yeah.
You know?
And like I didn't have any expenses at the time, but like still it was like an extra $250. Like I remember like thinking, oh my god, I have to work all these hours to make $250. Here I am just like taking 3 pictures in the comfort of my own home.
Actually, that's a really good deal that you got.
Yeah.
Especially at that point. This is the thing, like I would have never been able to charge when I was at 15,000 followers. Like it just wasn't a thing. And now we spoke about this in our first episode, but people are like, oh, I have 2,000 followers and these are my rates. And I'm just thinking, what? Like, it's not how it was back in the day.
I know.
Okay.
But it was also a lot easier to grow back in the day, so like...
Yeah. Okay, so our first celeb encounter.
Do you want to go first?
Do you know what yours is?
So like, yes, but also like, maybe it's not a celebrity.
Well, why don't you say what it is and then we can decide.
Okay, my definition of a celebrity, I'll tell the story of like the person that I had my first encounter with, who's like definitely a celebrity.
Okay.
My definition of a celebrity, as opposed to like someone who's just like known in a certain community.
Okay.
So, we had gone to Osheaga together.
Me and you?
Yeah, and you were a fan of this person, and I had never heard of him before. I didn't recognize his music.
Kyla, you met Selena Gomez before this person.
Oh, yeah.
How do you forget about Selena Gomez?
Oh my god, I totally forgot.
That's like she's like queen, and you loved her. How did you forget that? You met Selena Gomez.
Well, so I met Selena Gomez at a meet and greet at one of her concerts in Montreal. It was during her Revival Tour era. My sister was able to get me to meet her like through Pantene. Like my sister knew that I was a huge Selena Gomez fan, and she was so sweet. But like I do have a story of like me going on a date with a celebrity.
I don't think you should say that.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. I think that should be kept private because you just never know. But if ever we feel risky, or we get a little tipsy on the podcast.
We should get tipsy one day on the podcast.
We should. But maybe it'll slip out.
Maybe we'll save it for another episode.
We both have stories with celebrities.
Yours is better than mine.
Maybe. Yeah, it is.
Yours is like insane.
Maybe that would
And my
one
sister,
day.
it was with like an A-list celebrity.
Yeah, but okay, this is the thing. I would never be able to say who because there's NDAs involved. So
yeah, of course. But like that, I remember thinking like, no, there's no way. But then like you had one of my friends was with you.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, Kyla, that happened.
Yeah.
Insane.
It happened. We still talk about it to this day. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyways, so my first celebrity encounter, like real celebrity encounter, was, I mean, actually no, I'm gonna skip this person because it was Michael Phelps when I was like 15 and I just got an autograph. But first real one was when I was an extra in a movie called The Words. It was filmed here in Montreal, which is funny because it's supposed to take place in New York and Paris, but because Montreal kind of looks like it could be New York and it also could be Paris, and it's cheaper to film here. They film a lot of movies here. And I was an extra with Bradley Cooper, Zoe Saldana, Olivia Wilde, and Dennis Quaid. And I got to do scenes with all 4 of them. And they told us, like, we don't have, as an extra, you don't have lines. You're literally just placed in the background.
Yeah.
And they kind of place you where they think you wouldn't be making much attention.
Okay.
Or taking away from the main character. And they tell you what to do. Like, okay, in this scene, you're going to just clap or nod, or you're gonna pretend to take a sip of wine or something. So, and we're there all day, we're not paid. Like, it's just, it was such an experience.
It's just a cool experience.
But they told us you can't talk to the celebrities. You're not allowed. So,
Okay.
no one is talking to them. But at the end of the scene, we had this one scene with Bradley Cooper where we go up on the stage and we like have to shake his hand and accept like a little award from him or something. And then they like, it's so quick in the movie, but in real life it was like we did it for probably 3 hours straight. This one thing over and over and over again. And so whatever, we're doing the scene, and then as soon as it's done, it's time for us to all leave. This is like the end of the day. I'm literally never gonna see him again.
Yeah.
And so I just walk right over to him and I go, the first thing I say, I put out my hand.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I was like, I saw The Hangover 6 times in theaters. And he was like, 6? I was like, yeah, because The Hangover had just come out. Like, he was just starting to rise to fame. Like,
yeah. Was that what got him famous?
I don't know if that's what got him famous. I mean, I know he was in other movies, but I think it was like the main one that really like,
okay,
his career took off after that. And I just word vomited a bunch of stuff, and it was incredible. And it was very quick, but he was so nice, and he had these sparkling big blue eyes.
Oh my god,
and
he's so good looking.
Yeah, and I just like died. And then I was like, anyways, it's really nice to meet you. I know I'm not supposed to talk to you, but like I just had to say it because I'm a huge fan. He was like, no, like thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Like, you did great today. I was like, oh yeah, I worked so hard, you know, walked up and down the stairs. But I just realized this. I met Jake Gyllenhaal when I was like 14 or 15
I was thinking that
in LA. But I didn't talk to him because I was too embarrassed, because he used to be friends with our cousin, which I know everyone's on like a Jake Gyllenhaal hate train now because of Taylor Swift. But at the time, I was young and it was Jake Gyllenhaal and I was like dying. I met him in LA when I was with my cousin and she was talking to him, like they knew each other, so I was just like freaking out. But I don't really count that because yeah, I saw him in person, but he just said hi to me and I literally didn't even say hi back because I was like, oh my god, that's a real celebrity.
Like at that age especially, you think these celebrities are like unattainable, like they're not even humans.
No, they're not real people.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a real person, oh my god, and he's talking to my cousin, like what the heck.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first celeb, like real conversation with somebody. And then the last one is our first work trip, which
I don't even know.
My first work trip was out to LA with Windsor. That's how I met Tess.
Oh yeah.
Wait, actually, I don't remember. No, that was my first work trip. It was. And I think yours was with me.
It was definitely with you.
Was it when we went to the Hamptons with Revolve?
No, we had gone to New York for New York Fashion Week.
Okay, yes, that was before.
And then...
No, Revolve was before. Because the Hamptons was for 4th of July. And then it was...
No, but I think the year before,
we did.
I had gone to New York Fashion Week with you. And then like the following summer was when we did
okay, you're right.
the Hamptons. We met like John Legend, Chrissy Teigen.
Oh my god, we met Emily Ratajkowski.
Emily Ratajkowski was there. Was it P. Diddy that was performing?
I literally do not remember at all.
There was a rapper that was performing and then he was hitting on me.
Probably him.
And his girlfriend had like dreadlocks down to the floor. And she was like super pissed off and I was like this skinny little girl like with this like rapper hitting on me and I was like,
You weren't even
I come
talking to
in
him?
peace. Like, I'm not even... like, I had a boyfriend and everything at the time. Like, so
Remember
awkward.
that chef that was hitting on you?
I was obsessed with him.
No, he was hitting on you.
Yeah.
He would flirt with you.
Yeah.
And you had a boyfriend, so you're like, dang it, I can't, like, do anything. But anyways, we have so many funny stories that we could do a whole episode about, like, funny brand trips that we've been on.
Trips, like influencer trips. Maybe we could do
Celeb
that next
encounters.
episode.
Yeah.
Let's do that next episode, and let's have people submit questions that they've always wanted to know about, not celebrities, influencers, and what it's actually like to be an influencer and going on trips, our experiences with other influencers.
That's a good idea. Let's do that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I hope I'm talking louder. I have a different mic than Kyla, and hers is a lot louder, so I think we might just invest in a different mic. But we're learning as we go. But we will see you guys all next week, right?
Yes. Have a great rest of the week, and don't forget.
I don't know why I just did this.
Oh my god.
Rate us on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you can.
Rate us on Apple Podcast, and if you could can we rate on Spotify?
I don't even know, honestly, but you can listen to this wherever you get your podcast, as well as on YouTube. You can watch us there. I'll link everything down below.
And also follow us on TikTok, tellmesispodcast. You can follow us on Instagram.
And
now I just sound like
we're just self-plugging.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
have a good day.
Have a good rest of the week, and
bye.
Bye.